All right, Farmer Jeff, I want to do a little Courseplay leveling, which is a new feature in FS17. I don't find it particularly useful unless you're going to try to fill up a really fill up a silo up to like its max limit in some area. First, let me start with this twin wheel, and I'll put the leveler on the rear because that's what they want. They want the leveler on the rear, so it's not conducive to necessarily dumping or running stuff through the silo. I'm going to do reversing drop off. There is a drive through, but I might as well just put it on the front and drive through. I learned myself. I know it will adapt some, but I didn't find it particularly useful. Plus, you'd have to make a Courseplay course to drive your tractor backwards through, which is just another course you got to do. So let me stop. That one, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the leveling and compacting mode. And you're going to go up to the upper right, same leveling, and it gives you some options. First thing I'm going to do is I don't care about that. I'm going to set this zone. This zone is so the tractor will drive away and somebody can reverse in there and dump some stuff. I'm also going to set my blade width to slightly wider. I got the small leveler here, but like 5.5 meters or something wider. Otherwise, it runs into the wall. It still will kind of run into the wall with this particular tractor. Your tractor grabs, the blade grabs, and then it spins around sideways. And now you got a guy stuck in a bunker that you can wiggle him back out. But there's also a reversing mode and then reverse dumping, right? And then there's a drive-through mode. I didn't find any of these useful, but you'll start the Courseplay in the bunker near the middle and go out to this waiting area. That's what would happen if the zone got violated. Back it up a little bit, put it in reverse mode, start there. You want to get a little bit of distance, and then when you hit stop here, it'll complete the Courseplay, and that's where it's going to touch the blade. And this doesn't always work the first time. Let's see how it works this time. Sometimes it goes off on a tangent. But it did go up to the pause point, come back. It's going to stop at the stop point, touch the blade. So it's nice if you have that blade at 0 or whatever, right? Or touching ground. And it's going to come back here and give a nice shove. I got a pretty full type thing, and you can see it'll stop and spin and do all this stuff, and hopefully it frees itself and comes back up to the front, and then we'll just stop real quick, touch the blade, and come back, and keeps on pounding on that. Let me get this guy out of the way. He took a little while, so fast forward, but you can see even in the progress he's made, he's pounding pretty good, and eventually it'll level off at the end of the bunker. It won't be drivable through necessarily with most trailers and stuff like that, so this is made for reverse loading, but then the guys get out of the way. I find it works a little bit better with these pivoting tractors. This is the top of the line, top of the bulk. Put some wheel weights on it. I mean, this will compact it while you're doing it. I'm just setting the Courseplay again. We'll see if this one works. Sometimes the trick is you can start it. If it goes forward, stop it, and then start it again, and it'll be on the reverser mode. And like I said, these guys with this pivot, because it will go left and right in the bunker. You can see how on the right-hand side, this is a much later because I filled up this whole bunker with chaff. But you can see the other one's made a nice flat area, and then on the end it's plateaued, and if you put more chaff in there, it'll eventually grow that plateau shortly. You know, it takes a long time, but it does work. It's a little bit easier than trying to fill it with a bucket yourself manually, because I don't know how to do it otherwise. We can go down the end here, and you can see I got a nice flat area. And eventually the one on the right will get to that. It'll be much longer because it's a much more full bunker, but you can see the one on the left is kind of spinning up, and it's going to plateau over the top, and that whole leveler will fill up. And as you drive forward, it'll unload, and that fills in the gaps or holes. You can manually go with another plugger, you know, like the shovel at the end if you really want to get picky and do little holes one at a time. You can see I got a big gap here that he's trying to fill in, so it's going to take some time to do that. So you just let it run. It is automated, run on its own. I don't have a great shot. I lost my video, but if you look at the third bunker in here, you can see how far. You can almost see it's brown and uncovered now, but you can see how far it did go forward eventually. And eventually you can fill up almost the whole bunker that way, like over 1.8 million. But eventually you got to pay it off, which is what I'm doing here. All right, thanks.